Hi everybody, it's Adam from LUCIDPIXUL, and today I want to have a conversation with you about something that hits the core of all of us as artists, as people, and as professionals. And it's something that has really hit home for me, especially over the last year. Now what you might not realize is that my private mentorship, LUCIDPIXUL, is about to celebrate its first year anniversary. And something that started off as a labor of love, kind of took my chances and saw where it would go, has turned out to be my full-time job, minus freelancing, of course, on the side. But it has been an incredibly enlightening experience, an incredible eye-opening experience for me. Namely because I haven't only had a chance to teach people from all around the world, but I've had a chance to get to know personally and become friends with people from every single corner of the planet. And I'm talking Japan, New Zealand, Belgium, Switzerland, Ireland, Turkey, South America, North America, Canada, and the list goes on. Okay, I can't remember them all offhand. Unfortunately, I don't have a globe sitting in front of me. But every single one of these people that I've had the pleasure of teaching over the year are people that I hold dear to me. And furthermore, what you very quickly come to realize when you have a chance to get to know people one-on-one is that no matter what corner of the planet you come from, we're all pretty much identical. As artists, as lovers, as professionals, as people living their day-to-day lives, there's really no distinction between anybody. Really, there isn't. And our preoccupations about ourselves, where we want to go with our career, the obstacles we feel we're facing, all of these things that we deal with professionally from every single age group, because of course I've also taught people ranging everywhere from 14 to 65 years old. And you realize that everybody has the same preoccupations in varying degrees. And everybody has a different way, their own unique way of handling it. But that's not unique to where they're from. That's just unique to their personal personality. But everybody's pretty much the same. And that's what I want to talk about. It's how we perceive ourselves in this world. And furthermore, how we perceive ourselves in this grand world of artists and great talented professionals out there. I just turned 40 years old. And I don't know why, but every time I hit a new decade, I always reflect back on the previous decades. It's like collecting cards. Like, oh, now I have 3 decades behind me, you know? And I can't wait to have like 8 decades behind me. And I was looking back at my life after following a conversation I had with one of my students, and I looked back at my life and I thought to myself, where was my head? What was I thinking when I was 10 years old, when I was 20 years old, when I was 30 years old? Where was my head? What was going on in there? And when I look back at the 10, 15, 20-year-old Adam, who already knew he loved art and already knew that that's what he wanted to pursue in life, when I remember looking at my own art and looking at the art of people that I really admired and idolized. And I remember thinking to myself, I haven't the vaguest conception under God how I will ever be that good. I mean, it's not even fathomable for me. I can't imagine how I could, it doesn't even make sense to me. It's a different language. It's a different world. It is so amazingly skilled. I have no idea how I'll ever be able to replicate that or do something of that quality. And I really honestly believe that. And over the years, I just kept doing what I kept doing. And without trying very hard not to come across as being conceited or having some sense of, some illusion of grandeur on my part, which I don't. When I look at my artwork today, where I am today artistically at 40 years old, and I look back at where I was, what I wished I could be when I was 10, and I realize very quickly that I'm 10 times better than I wished I could be when I was 10 and 20 years old. Honestly, I look at the work I do now and I go, wow, I'm even better than I thought I'm better than I dreamed I could be. Does that mean I'm better than everybody in the world? Of course not. There's millions of people out there that are a lot better than me, if you want to put everybody in a category. But I realized that this goal I set for myself, the standard that I set for myself, was just an illusion. Furthermore, it didn't require any magic formula for me to get from where I was to where I am today. Nobody at any point in time throughout the last 20, 30 years of my life has anybody turned to me and said, hey, Well, here, you want to be famous, talented artist? Here, take this. Take 2 pills a day. You'll be, in a week, you're going to be brilliant. Never happened. There was no magical drug. There was no magical opportunity. There was no, magical happenstance or fluke of timing that got me to where I am today. My entire artistic growth, my entire artistic process, how I got to where I am today, was a very normal, normal path with all of its expected ups and downs. But there was one magic ingredient that, had this ingredient not existed, I wouldn't be where I am today. I wouldn't even be close to where I am today. And that is not passion. Okay? Now, I've made the mistake, and many other artists, of course, it's the catch word is, if you're passionate about what you do, you will succeed. And you can probably listen to some earlier videos of mine where I talk about passion, having passion for what you do. And I gave it some thought. And I realized it's not passion that you need to succeed. It's love that you need to succeed. I hear little footsteps. That's my daughter. It's love. Okay, now, before you get at the harps and you start going with one of these love talks, I'll explain what I mean. I honestly believe, and I've always believed, that my relationship with art is a real relationship, in the real relationship sense of the word. It is somebody, it is something that I have in my life that I hold very dear to me, that means a lot to me, that is a very strong reflection of everything that matters to me, or at least a great deal of things that matter to me. And when you love somebody or you love something, to me the word love means you love them not only when things are going well, you love them when things aren't going well, right? You're there to make love on the beach and have beautiful romance and perfect sunset, and the dove flies by and you're drinking a perfect drink and having a perfect meal and everything feels great and looks great and everything's fantastic. But then other days, you got the stomach flu, or somebody's holding your hair because you got the stomach flu and you're throwing up, or somebody is putting up with you being moody, or maybe somebody's pissed off and annoyed with you. You still love them through that, if it's love. If it's passion, then you'll only love it as long as things go well, and as soon as things start to go badly, or not exactly as you planned, you dump it and you move on. That's not sustainable. That's not love. That's not long-term. That will not get you to where you've got to get. And if I look at my career under the same light, my career has been a perfect, balanced combination of the best and the worst of the worst to date. I have had to go through my pockets to find $5 change so I could take the bus to get to a job interview. I've been completely broke. I've had to look at my bills and say, well, okay, am I eating or am I paying my bills? I can't do both, right? I've also sat down and had lunch with top executives for some of the biggest game design companies and film design companies in the world. Okay, I've had great titles, great salaries. I've schmoozed with people and had everybody called me sir, and then after that have nobody return my phone call. I've seen both of them. I've seen both extremes, and as a result of that. And it wasn't it wasn't in a perfect chronological order where things were shitty and got progressively better. No, they were crappy, okay, not so good, amazing, shitty, life is like this. Life is not black and white. Life is many shades of gray, right? And the only thing that I stuck through, the only thing that remained constant throughout this entire ordeal over the last 30 years of my life and my career is the fact that no matter how hard I tried, I couldn't give up. I couldn't. It's not that I didn't. It's not that I made an effort not to. I really tried to on a couple of occasions. Screw this, I'm going to learn 3D. Screw this, I'm going to learn something else. Screw this, I'm going to get into business. I'm going to start my own dance club. I've done all of that, and I always came back to drawing. It's a typical type of situation where you're going like, God, I hate my life. I suck. I'm no good, and nobody loves me, and I'm stinky, and I'm ugly, and I'm too tall, and I'm goofy. I'm never going to have a career because look at all these amazing artists out there, and I'm sick and tired of being broke all the time. God damn, it drives me crazy. So sick of my life. And I'm still drawing, right? And 30 years later, I'm still drawing. And because I loved what I did, because I stuck it out over the years, through all the ups and downs, I eventually found myself looking back at my life and realizing I made it. In fact, I probably made it 5 years before I even thought I made it, and before I even realized I made it. The whole process of growth and success and getting to where you want to get is not that, it's not jumping over a fence. Because a fence remains the same size all the time. Your goals and aspirations, who you want to be and where you are, both move at the same time. And the reason I never noticed that I had reached my goals is because my goals kept growing at the same time that I did. And you might not realize this. Maybe you've only been at it for about 5 years. Maybe you've only been at it for 10 years. Maybe you've been at it for 50 years. And maybe you haven't had the chance to actually look back, have a little retrospective of your life. Look back at your life. You might not realize just how far you've come. When you truly love something, it's amazing the adventures you'll find yourself on, good and bad. You'll it's quite a ride. Sometimes it's very boring. Sometimes it's suffocatingly exciting. Okay? You might not realize just how far you've come. Furthermore, you might not realize that you will succeed. I have always had a very, very sensitive spot to people who pat you on the back and give you those rough shoulder massage and say, "You're going to do great, bud. Just keep it up, you know? You can do it. Here, blast to the max. You can do it," right? All the alpha male bullshit pep talks. I hate that crap. I hate it. It makes me cringe. But what I am here to say is, if you do love what you're doing, you are going to succeed. You are going to be exactly where you want to be. You're going to have the notoriety that you want. You're going to have the jobs that you want. You're going to have the success that you want. It might not be exactly the way you planned it. It might not be in exactly the company that you thought you'd work for. But that's life. And that's art. If you know anything about producing artwork, the finished product never looks exactly the way you planned. It's always within the field of what you planned, but it always looks different because you have to visualize your art. You have to see it before you can truly tell whether or not it's the best choice, the best artistic choice. And the same thing applies to your life. You can't tell if you're in the perfect situation in your life until you've actually experienced it. And what you might have actually visualized for your life beforehand might not be so pretty when you actually live it. So you alter it. You sculpt it until it becomes the life that suits you best. And of course, life isn't always going to give you what you want, but it always gives you what you need. And when I look back my life at all the good and the really, really, really shitty things I've dealt with, I'm grateful for every single one of them. Because I wouldn't be who I was today. I wouldn't be able to speak with conviction. I wouldn't have confidence in myself. I wouldn't speak with the same level of certainty and clarity as an artist, as a teacher, as a father, as a lover, as a husband, if I didn't deal with all of the crappy things too, and prove to myself time and time again that I was in it for the long run. Prove to me time and time again that unless I get decapitated, nothing can stop me. Because I've pretty much hit rock bottom, and I've been sky high as well. So, with that said, I hope you enjoy the talk. Of course, we're going to be celebrating the holidays in a couple of weeks. And LucidPIXUL is actually going to be celebrating holidays as well. Long awaited. I haven't had a break for about 3 years. So this is my first break in about 3 years. So it's quite welcome. But we are going to be taking a little break. But if you do want to enroll in the private mentorship, you can enroll now, but it's for after the holidays because we're already fully booked before the holidays. So you can give me a shout. You can check all the information in the description below. And happy holidays to you, be it Christmas or Hanukkah or goat chasing, whatever it is that keeps you warm during the cold winter season. All right, so thank you very much for watching, everybody, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Take care.